expectations. You know, it's kind of incredible. Like, the first time we came down here to do this type of press tour it's been about 1.5 to 2 years already, and it's gone by like that. And, you know, ever since we've come down, we've gotten such great support from the fans in Mexico. And, you know, we've definitely expanded our press activities down here and our retail incentives and whatnot in terms of getting the fans excited, you know, with special editions and whatnot. And we're hoping the same for 2014. We've got great games coming this year. Obviously, right around the corner is Dark Souls 2 that's shipping next month on the 11th of March. That's going to be a big title for us, and I'm sure there are a ton of Mexican fans that are looking forward to playing that game and dying over and over again, and, you know, achieving that great emotional payoff once they do beat the game. We're also showing today Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution. That's going to be a huge hit down here because we know we've got a ton of Naruto fans, and we're showing off a very special character this time around called Mecha Naruto that you guys have probably seen with Jason. And then we've got a couple of games coming from our partners at City Interactive. One with Enemy Front. It's a World War II shooter. And then the other one is Lords of the Fallen. It's more of an adventure title, adventure RPG. So we're looking forward to those games coming out as well. And then tomorrow we're also showing a few more games, so you guys will have to come back and see them then. And then, of course, today I showed you guys Tales of Exilia 2 for Mexican JRPG fans. That's going to be a huge title that's coming out this year. You know, you're looking easily 40 to 50 hours of gameplay. Great storyline, classic JRPG type style and gameplay. So I think the future is bright for Namco Bandai in Mexico. Well, we're definitely, in terms of our presence in the U.S., if you're talking about the States, you know, we're very well known in the States. In terms of Latin America, like I said, you know, prior to 2 years ago, we didn't really come down here for press events specifically for here. You know, in the last 2 years, this is, I believe, our 5th event like this, or 4th event like this. So we've made definitely a concerted effort to come down and make sure our fans in Latin America, you know, get to see our games in step with what the U.S. press are seeing and what the U.S. consumers are seeing. All of our assets and trailers and all that, we've concentrated on localizing it, you know, in Spanish or Brazilian Portuguese. We also put them out at the same time. So you guys essentially now are getting information at the same time as American fans and journalists. And, you know, we're taking additional steps hopefully this year to go beyond Mexico and Brazil and maybe go into more of the Central Latin American countries to do more activities there. So for our, you know, overarching Latin America plans for our fans, look for more presence from Namco Bandai. We're definitely going to do more down here, and we want to make sure we grow that fan base that we currently have. Well, that's a difficult question to answer because it's almost like asking a parent, you know, who's your favorite son or daughter, and you're like, oh, but I love them all, right? But obviously, Dark Souls 2 is one of our, you know, most exciting titles, I'd say, that's coming out the first half of this year. You know, the franchise itself has definitely developed quite the fan base, and a very hardcore fan base as well. These guys know the game so well, and they're so enthusiastic about, you know, taking up that challenge, and they don't mind dying over and over again. And they know that the game's going to be difficult, and they love that it's difficult. It's not a game for wimpy gamers. You really, you know, will be challenged, but the payoff in that emotional high that you get when you beat those bosses or you beat that area within the game, I think that's what, you know, our hardcore fans gravitate towards. They know they're going to get that emotional payoff. So I'm definitely very excited about that. Other titles that we've got coming down, you know, we've got JoJo's Bizarre All-Star Battle. It's a great fighting game developed by CyberConnect 2, the same guys that have been working on our Naruto titles. Huge roster of crazy characters to choose from. The JoJo series is a long-running manga series in Japan that's got a huge following, and once you guys get to see the game tomorrow, you'll see why. The characters are very zany and very original, very flamboyant as well. And of course, with CyberConnect 2 developing the game, the design, the gameplay, the balancing for the fighting game is just excellent. There's no other word to describe the quality of development that CyberConnect brings to the titles that they work on. So those are a couple that we're definitely excited for. Of course, like I said, Naruto, huge title for Latin America, and we've got a lot of Naruto fans here. We've also got this game called Short Piece that's coming as well. It's a very unusual title in that it's a 2D side-scroller, and it's actually the last part of a series of animated short movies. These animated short movies kind of go through Japanese history throughout different periods of history, and this one ends the series and it ends it in the future. So we'll be showing that off. The game is very cool. It's being developed by Crispy, and Suda51 is actually helping us produce it as well. So he's got his magical touch in the game, so you'll see his flamboyance as well. And he lends a lot of, obviously, his style of game development within that product. I think the response has been really enthusiastic, simply because it seems like, you know, Japanese culture is one of those cultures that has permeated different places. I mean, everybody knows manga, everybody knows anime. We know that, you know, Dragon Ball has a huge fan base in Mexico, and that's a Japanese franchise that's 30 plus years old at this point. You know, and then obviously the Naruto games, the Tales of series, the One Piece games, you know, they all have inherent fan bases here, and we're very happy to bring them over to our fans here. It's almost like we're exporting Japanese culture in a way, and I think that's great for kind of getting a glimpse into other cultures. Maybe one day, you know, we'll have Mexican games exported to Japan so they can get a glimpse of, you know, the Mexican culture. But I think that kind of culture exchange is one of the great things about video gaming. You know, you kind of get a glimpse of what other people are into and what their thinking is like, and, you know, have fun doing it. In terms of like simultaneous release with Japan?
Yes, with Japan.
So, you know, like a good example of that would be Tales. So the Tales of series, you know, maybe 2 to 3 years ago, we were getting the Tales games localized maybe a year and a half, or maybe 2 years after release in Japan. Now we've really shrunk that time to within a year, maybe even sometimes within about 8 to 10 months. Obviously, our goal is to have the games come out at the same time, and I think we're making the correct steps to kind of get to that goal down the line. But as you can see, we've already shortened that time by quite a bit, and it is our goal to one day, you know, minimize even further. Obviously, can we do simultaneous ship? That's a great goal. Can we do it this year? Not sure, but that's the goal we're shooting for, obviously, down the line. With certain games, like RPGs, those games are so big, the localization process is a little bit longer, obviously. With certain games that are shorter in scope, maybe we can get those down further, but you know, it's definitely a goal of ours, and you know, hopefully we can achieve that. Definitely. I mean, here's one thing about Namco Bandai, right? As a company, we've been in the video game industry for a very long time. Throughout our history, we've supported each and every console generation. So, you know, you can rest assured that we will have next-gen or current-gen games at this point. In fact, one of the games that we'll be showing tomorrow, Lords of the Fallen, is a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One game. So we are already moving into that realm. So definitely look forward to more news coming from Namco Bandai about our plans in terms of Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and you know, we will lend our support for those consoles.
Thank you for your time.